Series comes to a close. Road trip comes to a close. The Dodgers with a chance at a 6-0 trip through D.C. and Toronto. And it's Shohei Ohtani to start the finale. This highly anticipated World Series rematch the Dodgers have owned through 2 days. And now the Dodgers go for the sweep. So to be Ohtani for the Dodgers, making his first start here since Game 7, where he gave up the 3 runs on the Bichette home run over 2 1/3. And on the other side, really good pitcher they've seen a bunch in Dylan Cease.
As the Blue Jays try to salvage the final game of this series and snap a 6-game losing streak.
Often you get a guy with great stuff like he has, because it explodes out of his hand as well as anybody's stuff does. And the idea is I can't get to 2 strikes because he's going to finish me off if I do. But if you can pull back a little bit on that with a guy that lacks command like him, it can be a quick day. Anytime we talk about great pitching matchups, somebody always says, well, the pitchers aren't going head to head. Except this time they are, because Ohtani leads things off for the Dodgers. Go high, leadoff walk.
In another game added to the on-base streak, now 43, that ties him with Augie Gallan. It's the 8th longest streak in franchise history. Inside, ball 4, back-to-back walks for the Dodgers in this first inning.
Here's where the Dodgers have been shining in this series. 7 for 24 with runners in scoring position.
Swing and a miss as Cease gets him for the first out of the ballgame.
Well, he went to the slider. It wasn't his best pitch, but it was in the right spot at the right time to retire Smith.
So that's the first out, but here's Freddie Freeman. 3 home runs and a dozen RBIs already on the young season. Lined and caught, and it's going to be a double play. Tucker broke towards second.
Base running gap from the new Dodger right fielder, and the Blue Jays benefit from it after back-to-back walks to start the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 left.
Ohtani 1 hit over 6 scoreless innings in his season debut on the mound against Cleveland last week. He's got a 22-inning shutout streak going back to last August, the longest active streak in baseball. He's also got the longest active on-base streak, 43 games after he walked in the first. This is the full Ohtani experience. First batter that Ohtani's facing is a guy that has hit him as hard as anybody. George Springer's 9 for 17 with 2 home runs against Ohtani.
Springer pulls one through the left side for a base hit.
Well, George will take it. Came around that fastball and grounded it to the left side, but he found the hole.
Here is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy in his career 4 for 12 with a couple of home runs off Ohtani. One of them in Game 4 of the World Series. Grounded into left field, a base hit just beyond the reach of Muncy, and the Blue Jays have 2 men on. So up to second goes Varsho, Guerrero at first, and here is Jesus Sanchez.
Jesus Sanchez, not an easy guy to walk. Swung at a 3-0 and popped it up. Left side for Muncy. He's got it, but the infield fly rule had that been fair.
Here is Kazuma Okamoto.
Ohtani's 1-2. He struck him out. Fastball at 100 to record his first strikeout and get him through a scoreless first inning. Back-to-back Ks to finish a 1-2-3 second for Cease on just 9 pitches. 1.5 innings complete, no score. We have seen Alex Freeland play the heck out of second base to start the year, but a misplay there scored E4. So Jimenez retired 4-3, and now the number 9 hitter, switch hitting catcher Tyler Heineman.
38 pitches, and a lot of these have been very stressful. When you don't have your rhythm, not hitting your target, that means your body is getting more stress. And when you have runners in scoring position, a lot more stress.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Put him down with the splitter. Second K to finish a second scoreless inning, stranding the error on base. No score, on to the third.
Cease with 3 strikeouts so far, including Teoscar Hernandez and Andy Pages back-to-back to finish off the top of the second.
And Cease walked off that mound shaking his head like he may be onto something mechanically.
A changeup to get him, 1 down.
There's one of his toys, that little changeup to left-handed batters. Dodgers have not seen that. You see that grip, it's almost like a split type grip, and the ball just dives down and away.
And up comes Miguel Rojas, who by now you've probably heard lost his father yesterday. Miguel Sr., Mickey Rojas. And Miguel went back. He was scratched out of the lineup, went back to the hotel and just got on the phone, connected with all his family. I think that we all kind of thought that he would be away until the team got back home, but he said his dad would have wanted him to play. And so he's in there today to honor his father. He said, Dad has a first row seat to get to watch me play in this park where I fulfilled my childhood dream, having that World Series moment. Fly to center field for Dalton Varsho. And the second out of the third.
He said today would be an emotional day. It would be emotional just to honor his father and how many special moments have happened in this stadium, from winning the World Championship, from him hitting the home run, and this is him prior to the game. And Mickey, his father's nickname on his hat, and MR on most of the Dodger hats, I would think all of them.
Now his 3-2 offering to Ohtani. And he got him. Huge rip on a big chase from the 4-time MVP. Cease gets him to climb the ladder and swing at 99 above the zone. 5 Ks and 3 scoreless for Dylan Cease.
And again, Ohtani, usually the command is good. It is far from good so far here today as his pitch count continues to climb. The Blue Jays already 0 for 4 today with runners in scoring position. They have had a runner in scoring position in all 3 innings.
2-1 pitch now to Jesus Sanchez.
Fair ball down the line. And here comes Varsho in to score. Sanchez into second. It is 1-0 Blue Jays.
Taking advantage of the Dodgers' sloppiness in this inning. The walk and the pass ball set the table for this RBI double.
A sight for sore eyes here in Toronto, as the Blue Jays, they hadn't held a lead since last Wednesday against the Rockies a week ago when it was 1-0 entering the 8th, and they eventually lost that game.
The Blue Jays have snapped Ohtani's 25-inning scoreless streak.
Okamoto breaks his bat in his jam, pops it up right side of the infield. Freddie Freeman is there, about halfway between the mound and first base. That's the final out of the 3rd inning.
The one big difference, if you look at Dylan Cease's pitch mix so far here today, he's not throwing many sliders, and the slider and the fastball are usually the top 2, well above everything else. Bouncing ball weakly hit to third, charged by Okamoto. Smith will beat it out. The throw skips past Guerrero. Smith on his way to second, and in there it will be a base hit and an error on the play. That'll be the 2nd error on the season for Okamoto, the 10th error committed by the Blue Jays this year. This is game number 12.
And a chance for the Dodgers to tie it with Freddie Freeman coming up. Up the middle, base hit center field. Here comes Will Smith. Varsho is playing deep and his arm is not good. The Dodgers have tied it. Freddie Freeman knocks in Will Smith 1-1. And it is another error on the Blue Jays that leads to a run.
98-mile-an-hour four-seamer for his 8th K of the game and his 2nd this inning. 2 down.
Dodgers threatening in the 5th. 1st and 2nd, 2 out. Tied with Toronto 1-1. So Tucker 2 for 9 in this series.
1-2. Grounded to short. Jimenez steps on the bag for the 3rd out. Great job getting out of that by Cease. 1-1 going to the bottom of the 5th.
And Shohei Ohtani goes out to the mound on a day where he's not had his best command. Has still held the Blue Jays to just the 1 run. Toronto trying to end a 6-game losing streak. The Dodgers trying to make it a 6-0 road trip. Left side, Rojas deep in the hole, sets his feet, bullet across in time. He says, yeah, I still got it. 2 outs for Varsho. Grounder along first. It's a fair ball. Freddie Freeman feeds Ohtani, and a 6-pitch 5th inning for Shohei.
And you can see the frustration on the face of Cease. And here comes John Schneider. So Louis Varland is going to inherit a very difficult situation. Dylan Cease was absolutely great today until this inning, but a couple of walks and a base hit mean the bases are loaded with nobody out in a tie game, and that's why he is unhappy, no doubt, with himself at the situation he's leaving Louis Varland here in the 6th.
Bullpen taken over for Cease. Hernandez fights it off to center field. Varsho settles under it, makes the catch. Smith is coming home. Throw goes to 3rd. Dodgers take the lead. Sac fly Teoscar Hernandez, and it's 2-1 LA.
Infield now at double play depth for Andy Pages.
The set from Louis Varland in the 3-2. Called strike 3. 98-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball freezes Pages, and there are 2 down in the inning.
You can limit this to 1 run. You've done your job.
Hit on the ground to the shortstop Jimenez. He backs up, gloves it, slings to first, and ends the inning. Louis Varland does a pretty fine job. Comes in bases loaded, nobody out. Only surrenders 1 of those runs and keeps it a tight ball game.
The Blue Jays a run on 3 hits. Guerrero has 1 of those 2 hits. And he's got his 2nd hit of the game. He lines it to left center, and this one's going to go to the wall. Guerrero into second with a leadoff double.
Well, right back at you. Ohtani back on the mound, and the Blue Jays trying to get that run back, and Vladdy is thinking too, right out of the batter's box. When he hits this ball, he knows it's in the gap. Doesn't know right away that it's going to go to the wall, but he's thinking too, and he's in there.
That's his first double of the season, his second extra base hit. He's got one double, one homer now, and that's big. Here to begin the bottom of the sixth. Here is Sanchez. Ground ball, and Guerrero is caught between second and third. Made a mistake by trying to go to third on a sharply hit ground ball to the shortstop, and the Blue Jays lose that runner in scoring position.
Well, this is a golden rule for a base runner on second base. First of all, you have to know where the shortstop is. He was right behind Vladdy, just to his left. Rojas easily gets to the baseball and then easily throws Vladdy out. These mistakes are going to drive a manager batty.
2-1. Way up there. Left side foul ground. Max Muncy near the Blue Jays dugout. He's got it 2 away. Ohtani's an out away from getting through 6 innings. Ohtani fires. Got his bat on it to the hole. It's short. Rojas is there to second in time. Shohei Ohtani is through 6 innings on a day where he didn't have his best command. 1 unearned run. He somehow escapes this one unscathed. First and second, 1 away. They lead 2-1. Will Smith's the hitter. Tyler Rogers comes on to face him. Delivers 1-2. Smith slaps it into center field. That's a base hit. They're going to send Rojas. Varsho's throw to the plate is not in time. 3-1 Dodgers as Smith drives in Rojas.
Schneider at second, Straw at first. Well, the Blue Jays need a moment, and the guy at the plate right now has certainly provided them with many. It is George Springer, 1 for 3 today. And the first pitch from Dreyer is hit to right field. Tucker back. It is off the wall. Schneider will score. Straw to third on an RBI double by Springer. So it is a 1-run game. Second and third, 1 out. They are in on the corners, deep up the middle for Dalton Varsho. Up the middle, a base hit. Straw will score. Springer has to be held to make sure that ball won't win through. Dalton Varsho has tied the game.
Well, that has to feel good for Dalton. That's a good piece of hitting right there against a left-handed pitcher. As you noted, he stays in very well, lining it up the middle.
The Blue Jays have loaded the bases. Jesus Sanchez now the hitter. Vlad on first, Varsho on second, Springer on third. The pitch.
Here's an 0-2. Got him with a back foot breaking ball. 3-3. 3 on. With 2 gone in the 7th. Kaz Okamoto. Fastball on the hands. Muncy to the bag. That's the inning. Blue Jays tie it.
Blake Trinan able to limit the damage. 2 runs against Dreyer. Resets the game. 3-3 onto the 8th.
0-2. Bounced up the middle, a base hit into right center. Schneider turns around second. He's put on the Jets to get to third, and Andres Jimenez delivers with an 0-2 single to make it first and third, 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. That creates a huge spot for Brandon Valenzuela, the rookie. Valenzuela bats with the go-ahead run on third, and Jimenez on first, 1 out.
Runner goes from first. The throw down, and it bounces away. And Schneider is in to score.
Ball gets by, and the Blue Jays have retaken the lead here in the 8th. Dodgers just 1 error the first 11 games, 2 of them today.
It is 4-3 Blue Jays.
Jays with 3 straight to take a 4-3 lead as they try to avoid the sweep and snap a 6-game losing streak. Dodgers, though, have the big guys coming up in the 9th inning against Jeff Hoffman. And the Jays have already blown 5 saves, the most in baseball, over their first 11 games this year.
Right there for strike 3 call. 1 down, and here's Kyle Tucker, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks.
This is 1-1 pitch. Into right center field, a base hit from Tucker. He's on as the tying run. They know about his speed, his base stealing ability. There goes Tucker. Ball 4. Tying run is in scoring position. Go-ahead run is on base. Dodgers refusing to just roll over here. And now Freeman has got 2 hits of his own in this ballgame.
And the pitch. Got him! 2 down.
There it is.
So it will be Hoffman and Max Muncy here with 2 on and 2 out in the 9th inning. And the pitch. And a ground ball back towards Hoffman. On to first, and the Blue Jays win it. And boy, did they need that. They found a way to come back, take the lead, lead, and you see smiles among this group, Joe, for the first time in about a week. That is a much-needed victory as early in the season as it is.